What if I told you that Omen is actually dead? Would you believe me? Or what if I told you that Sage can only resurrect other characters by taking other people's lives? Interested? Stick around and we'll dive deep into these interesting fan theories. But before we begin, make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more theories about popular games. The world of Valorant is an interesting one. Like Riot Games' other juggernaut franchise, League of Legends. The world building in Valorant is top-notch. Its lore is complicated to say the least. With a lot of questions that Riot prefers to keep unanswered, it opens up the doors for us fans to try and piece things together. Let's start things off with the most mysterious agent in Valorant, Omen. Now, we're all familiar with what Omen does in game. He can teleport, he can make shadowy constructs, he can fire orbs of darkness that take away your sight. In short, he's pretty cool. But where did his powers come from? Omen is classified as a Radiant, meaning his powers are closely related to Radianite during the events of First Light. He's one of the first few members of the Valorant protocol, and seems to be kinda chummy with Viper, hinting that they may have had some sort of relationship in the past. Omen doesn't really know who he was or what he's done before because he has amnesia. This is due to an incredibly tragic event that led to him getting his powers. Some voice lines hinted that he may have died several times before Sage tried to bring him back to life. Although Sage technically brought Omen back from the dead, his current state lacks any true physical body. Because of this, Omen seems to exist within the planes of life and death, being forced to feel the constant pain of being continuously ripped apart and hearing the voices of those he kills. We don't exactly know what happened to Omen in the past, but he seems to have used several different identities before. In fact, Viper almost called him what we can only assume as his real name in one of her voice lines, accidentally saying Joe before going back to calling him by his call sign. It's never clear why she just couldn't tell who or what Omen was before he turned into what he is now. The only consistent thing is that he was involved with Viper and her team as they experimented with Radianite. Whether he was a patient, a test subject, or even a researcher has yet to be revealed. A popular theory suggests that Omen is actually the manifestation of the First Light event itself, and that he is a creature summoned by the Valorant protocol to do their bidding. It could be that Viper and her team of scientists summoned this creature and bound it to Omen's human body so that they could use it as a weapon. This caused him to die several times, and the mere mention of his real name or anything from his past could cause his mind to break and let this creature run havoc. Speaking of creatures, there's also another theory that Omen may not have been human at all in the first place. This theory comes from Reddit user Cal Cotton Candy, and he says that Omen was in fact a giant octopus that turned into this shadowy being after being exposed to Radianite. This is a pretty funny theory, of course, but with all the hints lying around, you can definitely think that they were onto something. Just take a look at this player card. It shows an octopus holding onto a Radianite shard, and we can see the shadowy tendrils that seem to envelop it the same way Omen uses his shadow powers. There's also this banner showing a giant octopus in an aquarium sharing the same symbols as Omen's mask. And lastly, this player card shows Omen just enjoying one of his favorite hobbies, knitting. But take a closer look at what he's actually knitting. It's an octopus. Coincidence? I think not. But in all seriousness, only time will tell what Riot will make of Omen, and if we will ever get to see what happened to him in the past. Next, let's talk about Chamber. Just looking at him, you can tell this well-dressed Frenchman has some sleazy tricks up his sleeve that can get him whatever he wants. His mysterious nature leaves us all guessing what his true intentions are. We know that he is working together with his mirror counterpart as revealed when they both caused an explosion at Fracture. Knowing this, could it be possible that Chamber and his double are actually switching places whenever he uses his teleport? The details of their agreement are unclear, so it could really go both ways. A very likely scenario is that they're both trying to find ways to profit off everything that's happening. Being arms dealers, it makes sense that both chambers would want to keep the fight going. Legend has it that all profits from the skins or battle passes goes directly into Chambers' pockets. It is also hinted by Fade when she was blackmailing members of the Valorant protocol that Chambers' goals is a sacred truth. But once he achieves his goals, he could be painted as a villain. This leads us to another theory that Chamber might actually be a time-traveling guardian of the multiverse. Think about it. Chamber and his double could be the key that would bridge both Earth and Mirror Earth, or even all the alternate realities to work together and put a stop to a potential universe-ending threat. Whether this could be true or not is entirely up for debate. Until more details are revealed, we're not so sure if we can trust him. Speaking of trust, an agent that anyone will find a hard time trusting is Cypher. Valorant's resident information broker and surveillance expert certainly knows a lot of things about his fellow agents that they would prefer to keep hidden. On the surface, it's easy to see how Cypher can come off as friendly and trustworthy based on his interactions. But would you trust someone who somehow found a way to gain access to all your passwords? To take things further, would you really trust someone who never reveals their face? Despite this though, some fans believe that Cypher may have noble intentions in joining the Valorant protocol. After all, it is hinted that he may have had a family at some point and lost them due to a certain tragedy. The biggest theory about Cypher is whether or not he is a double agent. There are a lot of instances where Cypher shows his willingness to use violence and deception to achieve his goals. This is very likely since Cypher does have the capacity, resources, and information to double-cross the entire Valorant protocol. He even has access to Brimstone's bracer. Just imagine the things he could do with that thing. He can essentially cause chaos and blame Brimstone, or any of his other teammates. This leads a lot of people to believe that Cypher just might be the mastermind behind it all. Either that, or he really is 5 tacti bears in a trench coat. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. The last theory that we'll cover for today just might be the most disturbing of them all. Even more disturbing than Viper creating diet milk that turns into poison if you simply add an egg. This one is about Sage. Sage is unquestionably one of the most important members of the Valorant protocol. That's because of her ability to bring people back from the dead. This allows the team to go on extremely dangerous and potentially fatal missions without having to worry about their mortality. But do you ever wonder how exactly Sage resurrects her teammates? Omen has an interesting voice line questioning where the life she gives is taken from. As someone who literally exists between life and death, it's fair to say that Omen's question is valid. The theory goes that Sage unknowingly takes lives from alternate realities and uses that life to revive her dead teammates. What's even crazier is some fans pointing out that each match we play in Valorant is actually an alternate reality playing out. This could be the source of where Sage draws life from. Every time you get a kill, it adds another soul to Sage's pool of life that she can use to revive dead teammates. Now think about that as you teabag your next victim when you queue up for a game. There are plenty more secrets to uncover in the world of Valorant, and with Act 2 of Episode 7 in full swing, we'll finally get to see the big picture as more pieces of the puzzle are revealed. Until then, let's all just sit back, relax, and watch it all play out while coming up with more interesting theories. Thanks for watching the video. We hope you guys found these Valorant theories just as exciting as we did. What other theories do you want to hear? Which ones do you think are real? What if everything is really just a simulation? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos like this.